Alright, let's do some principal component analysis and cure the curse of dimensionality. So it's actually very easy to do using scikit-learn as usual, and again PCA is a dimensionality reduction technique. It sounds very science fiction, all this talk of higher dimensions, but just to make it more concrete and real again, so you can think of a black and white photograph, an image of black and white picture as three dimensions where you have width, your x and your y axis of height, and each individual cell has some brightness value on a scale of 0 to 1 that you know is black to white or some value in between. So that would be three-dimensional data. You know, you have two spatial dimensions and then a brightness and intensity dimensions on top of that. If you were to distill that down to say two dimensions alone, that would be a compressed image. And if you were to do that in a technique that preserved variance in that as well as possible, you could still reconstruct the image without a whole lot of loss in theory. So that's dimensionality reduction, you know, distilled down to a practical example. Now we are gonna use a different example here using the iris dataset, and scikit-learn includes this. All it is a dataset of various iris flower measurements and the species classification for each iris in that dataset, and it has also, like I said before, the length and width measurements of both the petal and the sepal for each iris specimen. So between the length and width of the petal and the length and width of the sepal, we have 4 dimensions of feature data of information in our data set, and we want to distill that down to something we can actually look at and understand, cause your mind does not deal with your dimensions very well, but you on a piece of paper pretty easily do this. So let's go ahead and load it. There is a handy load iris function built into scikit-learn that will just load up for you with no additional work. So can you just focus on that? If you take a look at what that data set looks like, you can see that we are extracting the shape of that data set, which means how many data points we have in it, 150, and how many features or how many dimensions that data set has, and that is 4. So we have a 150 iris specimens in our data sets with 4 dimensions of information. Again, that is the length and width of the sepal and the length and width of the petal, for a total of 4 features, which we can think of as 4 dimensions. And we can also print out the list of target names in this data set, which are the classifications, and we can see that each iris belongs to one of 3 different species: Shetosha, versicolor and virginica. So that's the data that we are working with, 150 iris specimens classified into one of the 3 species, and we have 4 features associated with each iris, being the length and width of the petal and the length and width of the sepal. So let's look at how easy PCA is, principal component analysis. Even though it is very complicated technique under the hood, doing it is just a few lines of code. So we are gonna assign the entire iris data set and we are gonna call it X, and we will then create a PCA model, and we are gonna say in component equals 2. So we want 2 dimensions. We are gonna go from 4 to 2. We are going to use with write in equals true. That means that we are sure that everything is nice and comparable. Normally you will want to do that to get good results, and then we will fit the PCA model to our iris datasets X and then we can use that model then to transform that data set down to 2 dimensions. And let's go ahead and do that. Happened pretty quickly. So think about what just happened there. We actually created a PCA model to reduce 4 dimensions down to 2, and it did that by choosing 2 4 dimension vectors to create hyperplanes around to project that 4 dimensional data down into 2 dimension. And you could actually see 4 dimensional vectors are those Asian vectors by printing out the actual components of PCA. So PCA stands for Principal Component Analysis. Those principal components are the Asian vectors that we choose to define our planes about, and you can actually gonna mean a lot of you because you cannot really picture 4 dimensions anyway, but just so you can see that is actually doing something with principal components. So let's evaluate our result. The PCA model gives us back something called explained variance ratio, and basically that tells you how much of the variance in the original 4 dimensional data was preserved as I reduced it down to 2 dimensions. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. What it gives you back is actually a list of 2 items or for the 2 dimension that we preserved. So this is telling me that in this first dimension I can actually preserve 92% of the variance in the data, and the second dimension only an additional 5% of the variance. And if I sum it together, these 2 dimensions that I projected my data down into still preserve over 97% of the variance in the source data. So 4 dimensions were not really necessary to capture all the information in this data set, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty cool stuff. So if you think about it, why do you think what might be, well, maybe the overall size of the flower has some relationship to the species at its center. Maybe it's the rating of length to breadth for the petals and sepals. You know, some of these things properly move together in concert with each other for a given species, for a given overall size of a flower. So perhaps there are relationships between these 4 dimensions that PCA is extracting on its own. It's pretty cool and pretty powerful stuff. Let's go ahead and visualize this. So the whole point of reducing this down to 2 dimensions was that so we make a nice little 2D scatter plot of it. At least that's our objective for this little example here. So we are gonna do a little bit of matplot like magic here. To do that, there is some sort of fancy stuff going to that I should at least do here. What we are gonna do is create a red, green and blue. We are gonna create a list of target IDs, so the values 0, 1 and 2 that map to the different iris species, that 3 different species that we have. And what we are gonna do is zip all this up with the actual names of each species. So this little lines here for I label, target IDs, colors, iris targets means that we will iterate through the 3 different iris species, and as we go we are gonna have both the index for that species, a color associated with it and the actual human readable label name for that species. So we will talk one species at a time and plot it on our scatter plot just for that species with a given color and the given label. Well, then add in our lesion and show the results, and this is what we end up with. So that is our 4-dimensional iris data projected down to 2 dimensions Pretty interesting stuff. You can see it still clusters together pretty nicely. You know, you have all the Virginica sitting together, all the Versa colors and the Cytoses way off on the side here, and it's really hard to kind of imagine what these actual values represent. But the important point is we have projected 4D data down to 2D, and in such a case that we still preserve the variance and we can still see clear delineations between these three species. A little bit of intermingling, it's not perfect, you know, but by and large it's pretty effective. So if you want to play with this a little bit, as you recall from the explained variance ratios, we actually captured most of the variance in a single dimension. You know, maybe the overall size of the flower is all that really matters in classifying it, and you could specify that with one feature. So go ahead and modify the results if you are feeling up to it. See if you can get away with or one dimension component, go change that and component to 1 and see what kind of experience ratio you get. What happens? Does it make sense? So play around with it, get some familiarity with it, and that is dimensionality reduction, principal component analysis, and singular value decomposition all in action. Very fancy terms, and you know, to be fair, it is some pretty fancy math under this, but as you can see, it's very powerful technique with scikit-learn. It is not hard